Welcome back to the 127 Fit podcast, and welcome to the first episode of the Chiro Corner with Dr. Kayla Ludvigson. Kayla, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Quentin.
For sure. So, for all of you faithful 127 Fit podcast listeners, I just want to kind of explain what this new segment is within the 127 Fit podcast. And again, I've coined it the Chiro Corner because Kayla is a doctor of chiropractic. So I'm just going to explain. I've got a couple things I just kind of want to share with you guys in terms of what you can expect with this segment. The first thing is Kayla and I want to take our education experiences and knowledge and share it with you. Another big thing for me in terms of you faithful 127 Fit podcast listeners is I want to provide more value for you in a shorter format, because as you tune into the 127 Fit podcast episodes previously, they're usually a longer format, sometimes upwards to 2 hours. So I just want to provide more value, give you guys more value, in a shorter format. And one of the big things for me, just kind of to give you this overview of what you can expect in regards to the Chiro Corner with Dr. Kayla, is I want to provide you guys with real advice from real practitioners. Because as we scan Instagram and all these different social medias that we're plugged into, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, but I want to give you guys real advice from real practitioners, people that have the education, they have the experience, they have the passion. And so that's kind of a few things in terms of what you can expect from this new segment within the 127 Fit podcast. And what can you expect in terms of different topics? Because yes, it's called the Chiro Corner. Kayla is a doctor of chiropractic, but we're not just going to touch on chiropractic all the time, right? We're going to talk, about chiropractic, obviously, but also we're going to touch on business, entrepreneurship, mindset, fitness, nutrition, and other things. And one thing I would like to ask of all of you listeners, as you guys follow the 127 Fit podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and maybe follow myself personally and also Kayla, if you guys would just maybe gather some questions, if you have some questions about chiropractic care, if we talk about something on this new segment that you have more questions about, reach out to Kayla, reach out to myself, come up with some different questions, because I would love to have some questions from you listeners that I can ask Kayla, and Kayla and I can discuss. All right. So don't be afraid to reach out to us and ask us questions. And then we would love to be able to answer some of those questions on the podcast. And if you guys want to find out more about Kayla, she is a previous guest on the 127 Fit podcast, episode 144. That's where we kind of do the longer edition of the podcast and get into her backstory, why she's passionate about chiropractic, her family life, and things like that. So if you haven't listened to that episode already, episode 144, Dr. Kayla Ludvigson, you can find out more about her. And again, I just want to kind of reiterate, Kayla is a doctor of chiropractic. She's an entrepreneur, she's a mother, and she's a forward thinker. So as I come in and I see Kayla once a week, she adjusts me. She kind of just keeps my body in alignment. I've had some different conversations with her about her coming on to the podcast again and sharing more of her insight, her passion, her education, her life experiences. So this is kind of, again, episode 1 of Kayla and I having some dialogue, answering some questions, and just hopefully being able to provide you guys, the listeners, more value, and again, that real advice from real practitioners. So with all of that being said, again, I just want you guys to understand these are going to be shorter segments. I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask Kayla, and her and I will probably just kind of chop it up a little bit, and we will hopefully send you guys out with an awesome rest of your day. So Kayla, the first kind of question that I want to just touch on with you is why chiropractic? And this is something I know that you and I kind of discussed during your episode 144 on the 127 Fit podcast. But some of the listeners haven't listened to this, and this is something, again, for me, being a gym owner, being a personal trainer, I really try to encourage my clients, my gym members to seek out a chiropractor, to get that regular chiropractic care, because I find so much value for that in my own life. But if somebody maybe has never been to a chiropractor, if somebody has maybe had a bad experience with a chiropractor, why chiropractic? Why should somebody consider seeing a chiropractor on a regular basis?
Oh, I feel like that question I could speak on for a really long time. But to keep it kind of the most concise and brief, I feel like everybody with a spine and a nervous system should be under chiropractic care because of the close relation of your spine to your nervous system. And your nervous system makes everything work. So every function that your body has is because the nerves are able to communicate from your brain what to do. And that goes as far as releasing hormones in your brain, like sleep hormones or feel-good hormones after you exercise, or digestive signals. All of the things that your body does is because your brain tells your body to do that through your nerves. And your nerves are so closely related to your spine that if the spine is out of alignment or stuck or not moving well, then your nerves cannot function at their best. So ultimately, you might not even know. I mean, it's not just about back pain here. It's not just about headaches. It's truly about functioning at your best. So if you're an elite athlete, or not even, if you're a weekend warrior, if you're, if you're just a person who moves your body and you just want to go rake your yard and be able to continue doing those things, you definitely need to seek chiropractic care, because there is no way that we can go through life doing things in a total bilateral fashion. We just don't do it. We're right-handed, we're left-handed, we're doing things repetitively, we're falling asleep in horrible positions at night because we're tired. The list goes on and on. So having your spine checked on a regular basis, I'd love to adjust people or find their subluxations once a week, and that maybe not be possible for everybody, but what if you did it once a month? What if you at least did it once a quarter? That would be better for you than waiting until a huge crisis comes up, and it takes us a lot longer to get that better than if you are a regular, seeking chiropractic regularly. I don't know. Like I said, I could go on and on and on about that. I hope that kind of touches on where you wanted me to go with that, and if there's other places you want me to go with that, you tell me. But
no, that's perfect, and that's the reason why I love having conversations with people, is because people are going to say things, and then for me personally, like that kind of raises more questions, right?
Sure.
And obviously, just as we have these conversations, I'm going to have more questions. So one thing I want to touch on quickly is this, and this is something that I have written. I call myself a wordy, so I have kind of like my 2 bodybuilding competitions, like the when they are and all that, printed off on a sheet of paper, and then I have all these different words kind of surrounding them, because at different times words mean different things to me, and they help me kind of just move forward, right? One of the things that I have written down is proactive, not reactive, and that's exactly what you were just referring to a second ago. So people put things off, and this isn't just within the world of chiropractic here. This is, regular checkups with their doctor, just their regular exercise routine and all that, right? We all kind of procrastinate. So I want to touch on being proactive and not reactive, because you just said people are like, okay, hey, I'm not going to the chiropractor. And then all of a sudden they wake up one day and they have severe pain. Mm-hmm. They're calling you, they're calling another chiropractor, what have you, to try to get in. It's just like this, it's this emergency. So why is it important? Again, let's just kind of break that down a little bit more. Why is it so important for us to be proactive and not reactive? And how can that just create more health throughout our lives overall?
I love that. I love the being proactive versus reactive. I truly, it transfers over in so many avenues of our lives.
Right.
Like you said, I mean, you put that up on your board not because it's just a chiropractic thing for you, but it really is something that in general in life we do need to treat our body as, I mean, we get one. We get one body, and it's not necessarily even, like I said, transfers all across the board, but in the context that we're talking, coming in on a regular basis is a proactive thing, but it helps in so many different avenues of your life. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be a better parent. You're going to be, because you're not going to feel bad, and sometimes you don't even know you feel bad until you feel better.
Right.
But in your context, I feel like I love this about exercise. Like, don't you feel like so many people like wait until they have like a weight problem and then they can't stand it anymore, so they react to that instead of saying like, this is actually not about my weight, but it's about my health. And I just wish that we could just get a handle on taking care. We can't even live a good life if our bodies are not going to come with us.
Right.
So whatever that means, getting enough sleep, being adjusted, working out, like being, going to a trainer, like seeing a counselor, like all of these things like are so important. I love the whole proactive versus reactive. That's actually, in my opinion, like the definition of where chiropractic differs from Western medicine at times. Like, not that you can't be proactive in a way. I am not taking anything away from the test that they can do it with Western medicine too. But chiropractic is and can be such a proactive form of your health, and it doesn't take really that long. Once you are in that proactive stage, we already know what's going on with you typically. Like, it doesn't take you a long 30-minute, 40-minute visit here. It's you're in, you're out. We move your spine, we help your nervous system function at its best. And it's just so powerful in how you feel. So I always encourage people, like, I always am like, just try it for 1 year. For 1 year, give me once a month. And if you don't feel better at the end of this year than you did last year, I will be so surprised because it won't happen. I'm really confident that if regular chiropractic adjustments happen, or the other things that we talked about, even eating healthier, your life is just going to be better, and it is an investment in your health.
Absolutely.
So,
and that word that you just said, investment, that's everything, because I think a lot of people can relate to that in terms of like, okay, we're taught from a very young age, we need to make these financial investments, right? But I love what you said a minute ago, is like, we have one body, and this is something because this is more about you kind of sharing things as opposed to me, but we're just kind of going back and forth. But I can get so fired up about that fact in terms of like, we all as human beings have to realize we have one life to live, and we have one body to live within this life. And we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have abilities. We've all been given so much, and in order for us to be, the best version of ourselves for a long period of time, we have to be proactive. We have to invest in ourselves so that we can invest in others, because I'm a firm believer that, our existence here on this earth isn't, for us just to like take care of ourselves and build ourselves up and all that, but we're here to serve others, to love others, to empower others, to help others. But first of all, we have to invest in ourselves. We have to be proactive in our own lives, so that then we can in turn invest in other people's lives, be proactive in other people's lives, serve others, love others, empower others, help others, right? So that I love that word in investing. So for everybody listening, this terminology or this mindset of being proactive over being reactive is just like, if you begin to be proactive in your life, whether that's within your marriage, in terms of exercise, in terms of chiropractic care, in terms of your parenting, in terms of running your business, at your job, if you begin to be proactive, then over the long haul, you're going to be able to, I don't want to say just hit cruise control, but there's going to be just a lot less reaction, and there's going to be a lot less stress, and there's going to be a lot less, anxiety, because you're doing what you're supposed to do. And like you said, Kayla, you're going to feel better, and you're going to live better, and you're going to be able to perform better in regards to your life and you being, who God created you to be, right? So, again, we're going to kind of keep these pretty short. A couple other things I want to touch on, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Why, okay, now if somebody, you've kind of mentioned a couple of times that maybe you don't even realize that you don't feel good. Okay. So now if somebody is like, okay, I've been to the chiropractor, or maybe I want to start being proactive and I want to seek out this chiropractic care. How do you as a practitioner kind of determine where you're going to start with somebody, maybe their first time when they visit your office? And then how can you kind of help encourage them, if they keep this up, they are going to feel better?
Well, I think, it's kind of like getting to know people is really important for me. So I try to treat people like individuals instead of, you're here because your neck hurts, so I'm going to do what I always do for people who have neck pain. So by listening, because I think that there is more healing in a care plan than just the physical adjustment, because I think sometimes people just need to be listened to, and if they're in pain, they need a source to get that out. Like, I need to talk about this. I have not been sleeping for years. Sometimes I can dive in and get way more information. Like, they might have come in for low back pain, but by talking to them, eventually you find out that, and I, haven't slept in 4 years. I've never been a good sleeper. I love that one. But why have you never been a good, I can really get in. But my point is, I really try to be individual with our care plans. So what is it that you as an individual need from me? I can physically give you an adjustment, and that is going to help so much. But if I can help coach you into the fact that you need to be proactive in your health in all ways, then I feel like I'm going to be better off as a practitioner than just saying, okay, your neck, got it, see you later, come in when you need to. So it's more just dropping hints, dropping pointers throughout when they are here. So they trust me, because I want them to. I want them to trust me. I don't want them to feel like it's a fed treatment plan based on this or that. It's what do you in my office need from me? If I can tell that you just want to come in when it hurts, you can do that. That is your choice. But in the meantime, I'm going to teach you about a few other things while you're here in a way that you're going to respond, because I want you to know, if you do come, and then I start with people, just give me once every season. Come once in the winter. Come once in the spring. I feel like you can do that for me. That's not. So just kind of dropping, getting them there. And then they do usually say, I need to come more. A lot of people are like, oh, I've been meaning to come more, and time gets away from me, which is so true. But the constant reminder from me to, you do, and it's okay. Life is busy, life is hectic, but you do need to be a priority. So I'm here for you when you need me to be, but the more you come, the better you're going to feel. Or the more you sleep at night, or the more you exercise, it just goes on. And it's not just about chiropractic. But once again, I love this word, and we're not talking about this right now, but maybe we should sometime. Consistency. I gotta love that. Okay,
we got a little bit more time, so why don't let's talk about that right now, because another one of my sayings in my own personal life is consistency counts, right? You don't have to be the greatest, you don't have to be the best, but if you are just consistent in your life, you are going to move so far forward, and you're going to accomplish so much, and you're going to be able to impact so many people's lives if you're just consistent. So just expound on that. Why is consistency not only in the chiropractic realm, but just in the life realm? Because again, you're a mom, okay? You've got a family, you've got a business, you've got a lot going on. So how is consistency an integral part of your own personal life, Kayla?
Yeah. Consistency, it has to be everything because, well, I think as a business owner, maybe that has grown me in this avenue the most even, but I have other people relying on me in that way. I have to be consistent for them. I have to be, my kids have to be consistent with when they wake up and approximately when they go to bed, and I have to be consistent in the fact that my kids need to know that they're going to get dinner every night, and we're going to try to sit down as a family and eat together. And I can't do that once a month.
Right.
That's not going to get them anywhere. Actually, that's going to give them a lot of anxiety. So how can we as people be consistent in just who we are? Are we even like, I don't know if we go into prayer here, but
you can
okay.
We can go into anything. it's my podcast, and I talk about that stuff all the time.
We do what we want. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, but even like saying your prayers, like, and I could go really far into that, but the point with consistency and chiropractic and showing up for yourself and giving yourself self-care is you cannot do this once a month and get anywhere. You can't get any steam. You can't move forward. And I think it's difficult when you're not consistent to get consistent. But over the course of time, if you just focus on something small, I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get up 10 minutes earlier so that I am not stressed out like taking my kids to school. And that's how you start to be consistent. Everything else just comes along with it. And so consistency in getting adjusted is just a tiny little piece, but it is a self-care method I think that everybody should be utilizing, of course. But if you're not consistent in things in your life, like you said, you're not going to be able to reach your full potential. I really believe that you just can't. And I do think that there's a lot of chaos in the world. And if we all showed up for what we're here for, or just trust in the fact that I guess God has a plan for us, but just working on yourself is just so big.
Right. And I think with the thing, in terms of the consistency, because from my perspective, life is all about having a foundation, right? So in terms of you being consistent, showing up in terms of a mom and a wife and a business owner and all these different things in your life, as you consistently show up, the best version of yourself, the people around you are gonna experience that, and there's gonna be a comfort level, right? Like, obviously I don't have any of my own kids, but training a lot of youth and interacting with a lot of youth in a lot of different capacities throughout my life is like, when I'm consistent in terms of my attitude and my outlook and my energy and all these different things, like, again, we then are impacting the people around us, which that's the ultimate play in terms of why we're here on this earth. But that consistency in us showing up in terms of who we are, that's gonna impact the people around us. It's gonna help them to be comfortable. And I think going back to as we finish up here, Kayla, going back to what you said in terms of how you try to show up within your chiropractic practice, you said you try to listen to people, you try to gain people's trust. It's building relationships. It's getting to know people. It's creating this individualization. Okay, so as you do that consistently, then you're gonna be impacting these people's lives, and you're gonna see these people, become more healthy, right? So the last thing, Kayla, that I kind of want to wrap up this first episode of the Chiro Corner, I want to just ask you, okay, because I know I've been going to chiropractors since I was a little kid. I've had a lot of different experiences, and I've talked to a lot of different people. I've had multiple chiropractors on the 127 Fit podcast. There's a lot of people that have maybe had a negative experience or a bad experience with the chiropractor. So from your own perspective, and maybe just leaving the listeners with some encouragement, what would you encourage people to look for in terms of searching for the right chiropractor for them and their family?
Sure. Well, with chiropractic, and I guess with any profession, it's an art and a science at the same time. So we cannot replicate an adjustment between myself and someone else because it's my physical body, performing the adjustment. So the amount of pressure somebody uses or those things are difficult to replicate in chiropractic, which is, people say, a downfall of our profession. You can't replicate it even for science, to research. But so what you, in my opinion, have to find is somebody who you trust, somebody who your health is their first priority. So whether it be chiropractic that can take them there, or this person discovers that, hey, maybe you might need more than what we can provide here. Let me help you with that. You just have to find somebody who you can put your trust in, right? Because I can't do everything. Nobody can.
Right.
But we definitely have to work together with all of the tools that we have in this world. So I'm not here to say that I'm going to fix everybody's everything. I don't believe that. I believe that I can help their body function better with, adjustments. But there are times when I know that I've discovered that actually, hey, you need to go see my friend because I can't help you here. You need more. Or you need something different. And so if you can find the person whom you trust that will do that for you and not, even if an adjustment, because one of the things a professor of mine told me a long time ago is what has the ability to do good has the ability to do harm. So pretty powerful. So an adjustment, although has an ability to do something really good, if you just need to be very present and conscious of everything that you're bestowing upon the body, because every adjustment I give isn't going to be perfect. It cannot be. It cannot be, and maybe a muscle is going to pull a different way after you give somebody an adjustment. But the point is, I'm always going to go back on that and say, okay, sometimes it's not going to be perfect. So we might need to tweak it again tomorrow. We might need to give you another adjustment because, my point here is an adjustment is something physical that we're gonna put on your body. So you just have to find a chiropractor who is going to own what they're doing, but also you trust that if you can't be helped at their office, that they're going to send you in the right direction.
Right.
Does that?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
You do know because you just said it. No, it's perfect. No, you're fine. It's perfect because that's the biggest thing. And I think if there's a takeaway from our little conversation today, Kayla, it's find people, surround yourself with people that are going to listen to you, that you can trust, that are going to speak into your life truth, and that aren't just going to give you what you want, right? Because we all need people in our lives that are going to challenge us. And I love, and that's something that I appreciate about you and your practice, is that you do listen. You do, for me, I know you try different modalities and try different things, and I really appreciate that. But again, it goes back to, you've used the word several times, trust. Can I trust this individual? Can I trust my body with this individual, because I only have one body and I want to take care of it the best that I can to do what God's calling me to do. So that's perfect. So we're just going to kind of wrap things up here, Kayla. For all of you listeners, I just, again, thank you so much for listening to the 127 Fit podcast. And just, I didn't mention this earlier, but this is Kayla and I we're just gonna kind of go with the flow with this, because she's got a lot going on, I've got a lot going on. But my goal is maybe once a month or once every other month to have an episode of the Chiro Corner with Kayla. So you can expect this on a regular basis in the months to come. But thank you so much, guys and girls, for continuing to tune in and to listen to the 127 Fit podcast, and now the Chiro Corner with Dr. Kayla. Kayla, if somebody wants to find out more about you, or if they want to find out how they can set up an appointment with you, if they're in the Cherokee, Iowa, Northwest Iowa area, where do you want to send people to contact you?
Well, I need to get better at this, Quentin, and you know that. I'm always like, I can help you with that because I'm such a grandma when it comes to this stuff. But we have a Facebook page, Ludvigson Chiro. And then we also have an Instagram account that's very underserved. So, but our phone number is, do you want me to do that?
Yeah, okay. Of course.
225-6198. That is always, something we'll call you back right away, or there's somebody out front almost always. So, but yeah.
Cool.
I'll get
awesome.
Better.
Yeah, we're all
push me to get better.
We're all a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So, all right. And if you guys want to contact me or reach out to me, find out more about the podcast and all the things that are going on in my realm, you can find me on Facebook, Quentin Vars, Instagram at Quentin Vars. If you guys would do me a huge favor, if you guys are looking forward to more Chiro Corners with Dr. Kayla, please just leave a 5-star rating and review, especially within the iTunes Apple Podcast app. If you guys, again, I really want this to be interactive as much as it can in terms of this not being a live conversation. So if you guys have questions you would like Kayla to answer, if there's some topics you would like Kayla and I to touch on during our conversations in the future, just reach out to Kayla, reach out to myself, and give us those questions, give us those comments, give us that feedback. And we would love to discuss those things and dissect them. All right, Kayla, we're going to close with this. If you feel better,
you'll live better.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.